Hey, I think we're live, and we came live like as I was picking my nose, which was choice timing, if I do say so myself. Hello, welcome to the stream today. Um, this is the part where I go through like some crazy lengthy introduction and go over all the hey, you should subscribe and follow and get off Facebook and follow me somewhere else. But that's boring. I'm not gonna do that today. We might talk about it later. I know that the face camera is pretty crap today. I'm working on it. I am working on a different setup for all of the light that I need to paint compared to the light that I need for my face. I'm working on that. Today's big thing, the big thing I want to do today is to show off. I did a good one off stream, and I definitely want to show it off. I think I might have broken my microphone. Hold on. No, I'm still going. Cool. So last week, or Saturday, I think, we painted those metal snakes and the stairs and like all the stuff, like the little bitty scatter terrain bits. Well, I put them together into this crazy monstrosity. I decided that they should be in some murky, icky water in a fountain kind of situation and all one piece. So I got myself some foam and a pencil and too much time and made myself a little terrain piece to put it all together again. You can see that I still have not finished the flames. That is what we are going to be doing at the start of the stream today. So yeah, I'm gonna do those, and then I've got a couple more pieces for this like kind of idea that I have that we're gonna do. I'll get some Bob Ross in there. I have this big fuck off snake mini that I want to paint. Kind of, you know, we have a snake altar. We might as well have a giant snake too. And there's a snake lady around here somewhere, but I'm not quite ready to paint her. She still needs a little bit of work before she's paintable. So it's fucking snakes all over the place these days. Also, I am woefully unprepared for today's stream. I did try and like get my wet palette set up and like get the boring part of the painting done and, you know, make sure everything's put together and pretty and fun. But no, I didn't. I failed miserably at all of that. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So let's get into some painting. So what I've done so far on these, I can't tell if I'm in focus. Hold on, I gotta pull my monitor up. Listen to me sounding all professional and shit. My monitor, so that I can see what's in focus. Yeah, okay, great. So you can see that I have not yet painted the fire. But what I have done is I've based the fire in white, and then I did a dry brush around the logs and the kind of coal bed in gray. And it's a pretty heavy dry brush because I'm going to try a trick. I'm going to try something, and if it doesn't work, I can always, you know, undo it. Not a big deal. But, so what I want to do is I actually want to wash the base red. I'm going to wash the base red, and it'll take that gray and kind of turn it, you know, it'll turn it red. And if I get some, you know, wash where it's not supposed to be, that's okay. We're going to repaint everything anyway. We're going to be doing some layers. We're going to be doing some glazing. We're going to do some object light sourcing. So a little errant wash isn't going to kill us. I'm trying not to get too much on the fire itself because for once in my life I have a workable white paint and I got to use it. So I'm trying not to mess that up too much. But yeah, little red wash there. And then I'm going to go back in once the wash is dry and I'm going to do some orange glazing to like really sell the idea of coals burning. But I want to start with just a red wash. Here in a little bit, I might do an orange wash on top of that just to kind of give it some variation. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and put some thinner down. For in a minute when we do some orange. But first, before we do anything, I need to paint this fire. And I'm going to start... Oh, my yellow is trying to get away from me. We're going to start by basically painting 95% of the white yellow. We just want to leave like the very bottom of this white. Because we're gonna start at white, and we're going to kind of transition... Using glazes, we're going to kind of transition from the white at the bottom to a dark red at the tips. Normally, in my miniature painting past, I'd do this with dry brushing. But trying to get away from dry brushing a little bit, trying to get into some paint techniques that allow me to control the paint a little better. I'm still going to dry brush all kinds of shit. But I want to try some new things. So we're going to be doing these flames with glazes. And one thing about this thing is because of all the epoxy resin to make the water, it weighs about 40,000 pounds. And it wants to jump out of my hand all the time. If you haven't seen the comment by this point, since I am streaming on multiple platforms, I'm currently streaming on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Because of the nature of the multi-streaming program that I use, I am unable to see Facebook chat. So if you're watching on Facebook, I highly encourage you, if you'd like to join in the conversation, if you'd like to interact, which is the best part, I would highly recommend coming over to Twitch, twitch.tv/dungeonbrush, and watching here. And if that doesn't tickle your fancy, then you can always also go to youtube.com, search Dungeon Brush. I don't have a custom URL for YouTube yet, but I'm working on it. You can watch there, and I can see the chat there too. Alright, there's one. This part should go pretty quick. I've painted, unlike most things I've done on this channel, I've actually painted fire before. And have a relatively strong idea of what it is that I'm doing. Am I going to be able to execute that idea? That is a different question. But you know, at least I have a start. I know where I'm starting. Now, if I was a smart person, I would have painted the fire before I did the whole base thing, because getting a brush around these snakes is a bitch. Just doing a little more yellow, getting a little closer to the base of the flames, that is. Don't really want a lot of white at the bottom. Just enough for the eye to just barely catch it, and you go, oh yeah, there's some white down there. Alright, yellow. Let's zoom out a little bit. There's a big piece, and the way I'm having to move it around, it's not exactly super easy to see. Alright, so now what I want to do So I want to mix a little bit of the yellow and a little bit of the orange that I'm going to be using next. Let's do a little bit more yellow there. For a, not a mid-tone, like a quarter tone. And then we're going to paint 95% of the yellow. And we're going to do it real thin. We're going to put a little bit of glaze medium in here. And then a wet spot. There we go. And then we'll just wick that off. And then as I brush, I'm putting just the barest amount of orange paint on. And instantaneously, at least here, I can see a difference. Like I'm gonna be doing layers that are so thin that I'll have to stack them to get 6 or 7 times to get an opaque color. But that's okay, because I don't necessarily need an opaque color, because I want the colors underneath to kind of blend through. And then we'll just go back and forth between the two braziers, putting this quarter tone orange on. And once we've done a couple layers of this, we can go to the unmixed orange and do the same thing, and then the same thing, and then the same thing, up and up and up and up and up, until we get to a dark red that we'll be doing right at the tip. Right at the tips of the fire, where it will start to be smoky. I might even do like some black at the tips of the flames, just to make it look smoky, which is a trick I've done on fire in the past. A little bit more. And we'll come back and we're going to do another layer of the orange. I have to be really careful the way I hold this, because it is just foam. It's that foam poster board that you can get at the dollar store, and you just pull the paper off to expose the foam. And it actually makes a pretty solid, pretty legit construction material for stuff like this. But it can be a little flimsy if you're not careful. As much as I can humanly help it, I want to be painting from the bottom with my paintbrush moving upwards. The heaviest concentrations of this glaze should be up here at the top of the flame. So that's where I want my brush to end its movement. Pretty happy with that, actually. So let's move on to our next orange. Get some glaze medium in there. That might have been too much glaze medium. That was way too much glaze medium. Okay, that's better. Yes. Let's see how we did. Oh, yes. And again, we're just going to paint 95% of what we just painted the next color. Leaving just a little bit of the first orange at the bottom next to the yellow. And it's fire, it's moving, it's complex shape. So if you miss spots and you know, get a little sloppy and a little messy some places, that is okay, because it's fire. It's still going to look pretty legit. That is a much stronger pigment than the first orange, so it might be the only layer of that one we do. Yeah, that was a lot. Yeah, a little too much thinning medium on my palette there, which made a mess. Too much on the brush. There we go. Paint it again. Spray paint it black and paint it again. It's the story. That's the name of my autobiography. I haven't messed it up yet, so I don't need to spray paint it. I'm not saying that's not going to happen. It's definitely happened before. A little orange right there. Katie's on one tonight. Right, now I want to do a little bit of orange and red for a darker orange. Some of that glaze in there. There we go. One thing I have got to be careful about doing this is I got to make sure that the top of the fire is pretty much opaque. Like you don't really want a lot of color variation in the top of the fire, because by the time fire has gotten to as high as it's going to get, it's cooled down significantly from where it started. We're looking kind of crummy over here. We're going to have to let that dry for a second. It looks like I got it a little too wet. Got paint kind of sloshing around. Or maybe, I'm just going to try a thing real quick. Yeah, that's just too wet. Too wet. Give that a second to dry and then hit it again. How are you, Katie? How's it going? How's Georgia? Same old, same old. So, breakfast, coffee, and cigarettes with Freddie and Myra. And then talking shit with Casey. Or talking shit about Casey, you know. Either one. Pure darkness. Sounds like Georgia. There we go. Now it's doing what I want it to do. All right. Talking shit about Casey to Casey. That also sounds correct. All right. Who has COVID? More importantly, who gave them COVID and whose ass am I going to have to kick? More glaze medium, since I've wasted most of it on my orange. The part of the film. Some people, I swear. Global pandemic killing millions? Yeah, let's get together and fucking breathe on each other real close. You know, Katie, the one thing I've always appreciated most about your family down there is the ability that they have to look each other in the eye and say, you know what, you're a fucking dumbass. Definitely a trait to be celebrated and utilized. See, in my family, we can't do that. If you tell someone in my family they're being a dumbass, then they're just gonna like think that you hate them and like talk shit about you for the rest of your life. That's getting to look like fire, y'all. And now, the final trick. The final piece. We're going to take a little bit of our dark red, thin it down a whole fucking bunch. And we're just going to do the tips of these flames in dark red. Barely going to be enough dark red on there to actually see that it's there. But a lot of times the eye catches really subtle things that you don't know that it's catching. And having a little bit of that dark red in there really like sells that fire. Still a bald spot over here where it got a little wet, and I'm going to fix that real easy. I just got to quit fucking with it. Give it a second. Let's see if we can get that a little better in focus. As you can see, fire. And now, while we're waiting for that to dry, let's get in here with our orange that we fucked up. And we're just going to come down here and throw a little bit of it around the base, so that our wood that's down there looks like hot coals. At least it does to me. There we go. Try to get this a little bit better consistency. We're going to come up here. Just going to do a little orange on the fangs and on the front of the bottom jaw, where that light from the fire would be hitting it. Just to really sell the point, I'm going to put a little red reflection in the eye there. We'll reinforce that a little bit with some red in our flames, or in our light. Come on. Getting the right consistency to paint like this is a pain in the ass. And it's still a brand new technique as far as I'm concerned. So I'm still not very good at it. Now a little bit of that red orange. Not thin enough. There we go. And just come up around the outermost areas that the light is hitting. I think Give a little bit more orange on our snake mouths here. I should probably put some yellow in there so it just doesn't look like rust. Let's do that. Right down here at the front. Oh yeah, that made a difference. Give the middle guy here the same kind of treatment. And it's starting to look like something. Because I'm doing this kind of quick and I'm not really giving anything the chance to dry just yet. Everything's blending together really, really nicely. Alright. Alright, a little bit of touch up there on the fire. I'm going to call this piece done. Really just kind of wanted to do the flames and the source lighting, of which there really wasn't very much. There. And there we have it. The Snake Temple. I'm not crazy about the OSL, but that's probably because I put orange over bronze, but that's okay. I like it. I think it looks cool, and if I change my mind later, I can always just go back and redo the faces. But there we go. There's some sort of snake god temple. Altar, sacrificial place kind of thing. Oh, there was something else I was going to do to this. There was indeed. So my kind of, you know, I've talked before about how like I get these stories in my head for the stuff that I paint. And, you know, that kind of answers questions for me about like why I'm painting certain things certain ways. So this is the story in my head with this piece is that it's been in the jungle, lost to civilization for, you know, 100 years, 200 years. So we got to give it some growth and like some vines and shit. So I have this like bag of dried moss. And basically what I want to do is I want to put a little bit of super glue right there. That was maybe a bit too much. And take a stick I don't like. There we go. And I just want to glue some vines to it and some overgrowth. Come on, get on there, fucker. It's glued more to me than it is to anything else, because I forgot how incredibly thin that glue is. So we're going to use a different one. Let's use something else. Let's use a slightly less, holy shit, that's thin glue. That's better. So I have this moss, and I'm just going to like shred it up and use it as nice vines and stuff. Get some accelerant on that. Oh yeah, that's very glued to me. Alright. Alright. There's one little bit. So let's see if we can't do this next one a little bit smarter, yeah? Where do I want it? Let's do right here in the front. Put a little glue down that line. Pull the little fluffy bits off. Make it look a bit more viney. And we'll just hold it in the crack, kind of, eventually. Hit it with a little accelerant. Tell you, man, that super glue accelerant is a game changer. We'll just do like a little wad of it over here. See if I can get some of this brown off the bottom into some of this. Let's do a little circle right there. I'm just gonna take this little mess of under moss, I guess, and stick that right there. Cool. That gives it a little bit more of a grubby look. See if we can do another nice long vine here. Ooh, yeah, hang like that. I like that. There we go. The accelerant really doesn't do anything except literally accelerate the super glue. It goes from like a 30-second cure time to about a 4-second cure time. It's pretty fucking rowdy. But it also means that I have super glue like all over my hands all the time now. Well, that's where you wanted to go, man. All you had to do was say so. I will happily put you down there. There we go. Let's just gumming it up a little bit, just making it look old and worn. There's some of this plant detritus down here in this water too, which I'm really very happy with how that came out. Maybe there. Yeah, let's do a big piece on this corner here. And then a bit more glue down there. Get in there. There. There, I'm pretty happy with that. Just, you know, a little vegetation to make it look a little lived on. Lived in the jungle. Cool. First terrain piece I've done on the stream, and I'm very quite happy with it. Alright, let's go put this on the shelf right over here as a done piece, and we'll start on the next damn thing. This one I've been looking forward to because I'm gonna really want to play with some color blends and do some color variations that I've not done a whole lot of. But first, we're gonna paint this fucker green. Yeah, good sized brush. That's a decent sized brush, I guess. That mixed up. Make sure that that's painting smooth. Looks pretty smooth to me. Oh yeah. We're going to do a nice vibrant green base coat. And we're not going to worry too much about the underbelly right now because that's going to get a different paint job. So if I get a little green on it, no big deal. I've lost my chat. There it is. Yes. This is a very green snake. And it's going to get even greener. This is Army Painter's Greenskin. Or it could be Citadel's Warpstone Glow. It's basically the same color. And it's thinned down to the point. It's a little thinner than I would like it, actually. But, you know, I'm learning new things. Sometimes new things require very thin paint. But it's a beautiful color. And I think one or two passes should give me enough of a coat to be getting on with. This part right here is airbrush territory. This is where if I had an airbrush, I would just do this with an airbrush. But I don't. So I'm not gonna. I'm in a couple different like mini painter Facebook groups. And I've had to like start, you know, prefacing my questions with, if you say do it with an airbrush, I'm gonna freak out because I don't own a fucking airbrush, and you're not gonna buy me an airbrush, and I'm poor, so don't tell me to use an airbrush. I ain't got airbrush money just laying around. Alright, there is coat 1 of green. we'll just start up here at the top and do coat 2. That should be dry enough by now. Yeah, this is gonna be a 3-coat job to get a good opacity here. Paint is a little over thin. Unfortunately, it just kind of came out of the bottle like that. So it's not like I can really add more to it to make it thicker. But we're getting there. Jen and I spent a little time last night just Googling pretty snakes, looking for a paint scheme to do for this guy. And I think I've settled on something I like. We'll see how I like it once I start painting it. But for now I'm pretty happy with my idea. Almost done with coat number 2. Let's give that a second to dry. Get my brush rinsed out a little bit. Have a little drink. All right. Damn. This is just a lot of green. Oh, my green just exploded on me. Lame. You're dry enough to start working on coat 3 to get some proper opacity. I've switched to a different green, something a little bit thicker. And I'm mixing it. I'm putting some of it on my brush, and I'm taking it over to my wet palette, and I'm mixing it with the green that I've been using, hopefully keeping the color relatively the same, but getting a little bit more pigment. Because that first go, it was too thin. Just too thin. After I get this coat of green on, I can actually start painting this thing. Start having some ideas come to life. Just gotta get it green first. This is one of those things where, like, if I was a smart streamer, I would have done this off stream. Since I have to base coat this thing by brush and not by air, I should have done this before I started. That would have been nice, because then that skips the boring shit and you guys just get to watch the fun stuff. But I am not a smart streamer. That's alright though, because even though I may not be the quickest streamer on the bunch, we are making some progress, and that is just a lovely green. Now, if there's still a little bit of translucence, like in the deepest recesses between the scales, that's okay, because that's just going to add to the shadow when I get to when I get to wash this. Straighten that spot up that I just put my finger on. Green. That's just about it. All right, green. Now we need to do the belly. We need to do the belly. What color are we going to do the belly? I had a plan for this and I've completely forgotten it. Let's do Death Guard green. Nice tan green. Kind of a scummy green. We'll try it. If we don't like it, then we'll fuck off and do something else. A decent sized brush for this, but not a huge brush like I was using. Yeah, I like that. It's a little green on green, but it actually works a little bit better than I was expecting it to. Have to focus a little bit. The differentiation between the belly scales and the dorsal scales are not super clear in some spots. I just want to make sure I'm painting the right thing, the right color. Seem to be having a slight difficulty with my paint pot. Come on. Get some fucking paint. There we go. Had to give it a little bit of hell. Just a touch. Almost out of that color. But I've been practicing a lot of mixing colors lately, so maybe we'll just be able to mix ourselves some more if we run out. Uh, 10 points to anybody who caught the facetious nature of that statement. I know it looks a little ridiculous right now, but give me time. I'm going to turn this into something cool. Again, going back to, telling stories about my minis in my head. This isn't a natural snake. This thing was summoned by a priestess of a snake cult, long thought to be extinct, summoned into existence and set upon our intrepid adventurers. Hey, John. Good to see you, my friend. You came in for some very exciting base coating. And it's kind of going back and forth, up and down, working on some opacity here so that it doesn't look like, doesn't look like I did a shit job painting it. I mean, I probably did do a shit job painting it, but we don't want it to look that way. Yeah, it always dries nice and slow when you want it to hurry the fuck up. But if you try and use it for wet blending, then it's dry as soon as you put it on the model. Jen, I think we're good. The curve of this neck is not making my life very easy. Sounds like we've got the Child Meltdown Olympics going on upstairs. Now, let me tell you, we got a contender for gold in this house. That green just will not go opaque. Alright, that is a very, very green snake. Now, what am I going to do next? I'm going to fix a couple places that are green that should not be. And just give them a little bit of black. Like this tongue. and the eyes. Trying to get a lot of work done. I'm just trying to get back into a rhythm. I took a little bit of a break this week and just didn't really do a lot of painting, didn't really do a lot of anything, just kind of let my mind turn off a little bit. And now I'm just trying to wake back up. So far, no luck. Alright. Alright, we got eyeballs, we got a tongue, we got a huge spot down there that I missed painting green. Huge. What the hell? Massive spot. There's just no paint on it at all. There we go. Thank you. That is, it started out as Army Painter's green skin, but that ended up being a little bit too thin for what I was trying to do. So I've mixed in some Warpstone Glow. And then the belly is Citadel's Death Guard green. Alright, time for some washes. For the belly, I'm going to wash that Beal Tan green. Nice, bright, vibrant wash green. And then on the scales, I'm actually going to do a darker, more olivey green. And again, you know, just mini painting. If I fuck it up, if I don't like it, if it's all too green, then I can always just go back and paint it something else. Well, I think I've got a good idea of what I'm doing. I want this to be a very bright and vibrant snake. So that dark green belly with a little bit of green tint on it, I think is going to play pretty good. Because we're going to get away from green on top. And green is just going to be our base. We'll let that dry for a minute. And we'll get in with this browny green on everything else. Hey. It is a great green, and I think I might have just used the last of my Death Guard green. And I have to go pick up another pot. Hey, Pius, good to see you, my friend. How are you? Anin Iyejiyayan. Yeah, I'm pretty happy so far. So far, so good. Got to get the rest of this washed with this Athonian camo shade. And then we can start dry brushing some of the colors back up. And once that starts, we can start playing. So we're going to be doing like purples and pinks and blues and all kinds of crazy shit on this guy. But we got to get the base color and shadows down first. Well, welcome to the show. Not a lot going on. Finished up a terrain piece that I started Saturday. Now I'm working on a little snaky boy to go with it. Got so much super glue on my fingers that like I can't really feel anything. So the mini's just kind of sliding around in my hand. Oh yeah, this piece. It's gonna be pretty basic wash wise, but we're definitely gonna play with some dry brushes in a big way. And if I'm feeling clever about it, I might get in doing some wet blends. All right, there's that wash. Washed. Now we just gotta let that dry. That's gonna take a second. So, while that's drying, let's see, what can I paint? What can I work on while our snaky boy is drying? Let's bring out, you know what, let's bring her down. This is my next pinup model. A little succubus from Artisan Guild. We can start messing around on her. Son of a bitch, my wet palette doesn't want to stay wet. My sheet keeps drying out. Oh well. I probably should have put a new sheet on my palette before I started the stream. That's okay. Let's see. Do I have paper towels out here somewhere? I do! Look at that. Look at me knowing what the fuck I'm doing. Alright. Work on a little skin tone while we wait for our snake to dry. You been working on painting anything there, Pius? Ooh, you know what this mini would be perfect for? This mini would be perfect to try out a little something John got me off my Amazon wish list. The new Citadel brand butt plug. I mean miniature holder. This is the new model Citadel mini holder. John picked that up for me because he is too good for this world. And I just got it in the mail a couple hours ago, so we'll give this a shot. See how it plays. So far, I like it. Bought another box of troops. Printed me some California. You know what? I got to agree with you. I don't really like tank treads on them. A mixed unit could be cool, though. Like some dudes with tank treads and some dudes with wheels and some dudes with spider legs. That could be fun. I mean, I'm a little spoiled by my Chaos Army. There's not a lot of uniformity in Chaos. In Chaos Marines, I should say. And Chaos in general. So this is Army Painter's Tanned Flesh color. It's actually a little pale for what I wanted. But that is okay because it's actually painting on incredibly smooth. I'm trying to paint. I'm going to be trying to do this skin tone without washing it, without using any washes, just kind of glazing up and wet blending up from this darkest tone, this tan flesh, to a nice pale, demony, pallid kind of look. We'll play. We shall play. The shape of this handle definitely is going to take some getting used to. Keep seeing these bumps, and I'm like, surely to God, that's not my paint doing that. No, it's scars from the fucking 3D print because I'm a lazy shit and I don't like cleaning up my prints. Ooh, I just had an idea that could be cool. So, our model here, she's a succubus. She's a demon. So, I think what I'm going to do... Am I TikTok? I am TikTok. Oh, dramatic zoom. It's got a like a follow your face feature, but it sucks. So it just like dramatically zooms in and out constantly. I think it's hilarious. Um, anyway, I'm gonna do, I'll do the flesh tone as normal, but then I kind of want to bring like from her tip, the tips of her finger be black, moving into red, and then into the skin tone up the limbs. I think that could be fun. Very demony. It does it likes my shirt today. It likes my hoodie because it's a tinderbox hoodie. One of the rare, hardly seen in the wild tinderbox hoodies. Probably less than 20 of these hoodies in the world. I'm exclusive and hip. Okay, I've officially sold on this mini holder because I can hold it like that. That's great. That is an absolutely killer way to hold a mini holder. Sold. Thank you so much, John. I have not met finger painting goal. I am 4 subs away from the finger painting goal. I don't even think I've talked about it yet on this stream. If I can get 20 subscriptions by Christmas, I'm gonna do a stream where I finger paint an entire mini. I'll spray it. I'll spray prime it. No, I'm not sure because I don't even have my Streamlabs up. Oh my god, I have made the goal. We have made the goal. We are going to be finger painting a mini because Katie is a boss and a sub-gifting machine. Which, Katie, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Shit, now I gotta think about... Now I gotta think about how I'm actually gonna do that. I hadn't put a whole lot of thought into it because honestly did not think I was gonna hit that goal. But now I actually have to do it. Merry Christmas to you. So yeah, I'll have... Let's see, it's Wednesday. Next stream is on Saturday. By Saturday, I will have information as to when and what the finger painting stream is going to be. That's exciting stuff. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I can't wait. It's going to be ridiculous. I'm so excited. So excited. Thank you, Katie. Stuff. Oh, God. Ah. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. I just want you to do weird things on stream. You got it. You got it. Damn, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna paint. This is going to require some brainstorming. Katie, expect a video conference call in the very near future concerning what mini to paint. And I'm also going to have to learn some finger painting shit. See, how are we doing on our wash? That wash is still not dry. Problem with going as heavy as I did with that green wash is it's going to take a minute to dry completely. Well, that's okay. I've got other minis to work on in the meantime, like our little pin-up succubus here. Let's see. Let's get just a little bit of thinner in this, so that when we do the face here, we don't completely blow out all the details. Which means at first, she's going to look kind of crazy. What can I start working on here? All this, yeah, that's still very wet. So I guess I just keep working on her. Work on getting some of these spots opaque. It's amazing how much detail starts to show up even with just a base coat. Like, I haven't done any shading, I haven't done any highlighting. All I've done is give it the dark tone. And you can already, like, it's a completely different mini. I can absolutely see what's going on now. There we go. That's a nice even coat on the face, I think. Alright. Still waiting on our snake to dry. We need to wait for her to dry before I move on to the next step. I know I said I was not going to wash this one, that I was going to just just do highlights and let this be the darkest tone, but I think I am going to wash it. I think that's just not dark enough. Maybe I won't wash the face. So I just don't think that's dark enough. So what am I moving up to? I'm gonna move up to that. It's a good mid-tone. That's a good mid-tone. Yeah, let's see. Experiment time. Let's experiment, shall we? That might work. I mean, let's just keep going and see what we wind up with, you know? The worst thing that happens is I hate it and go back and do something else. Nope. I do not like it. But I just might not be far enough along in the process. I need to trust the process. I don't know the process, but I need to trust it. I am making this shit up as I go. Oh, well, that didn't work. That seemed to do a little better when what I did was I tried to paint in the shadow. Like actually paint the shadow in between the thigh and the lower leg where it's bent up like that. And it kind of worked. Still don't think I'm super crazy about it though. We're going to get one slight further step into this before I write it off as a bad job and do something else. once I finish getting this second color on this leg, I'm going to go in and do the final highlight, or what I currently think should be the final highlight, and just see how it looks. I'm not crazy about it. It looks rough to me. Doesn't look blended at all. And that's what I was hoping for, was I was hoping to be able to do a little bit better job blending, but I just don't think I've quite grasped the technique that I was shooting for. So if that's the case, I'll just go back to what I know. Alright, let's let that dry for a second. And no, I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah, no, I don't like it. No me gusta. So we'll set that aside to dry, and then I'm going to go back to what I know, which is washing and building the highlights up from there. I'll just not do it on the face. In the meantime, we have a snaky boy. We got a snaky boy to paint. I'm going to be doing some dry brushing, so I need, get this, a dry brush. You should work. And we begin with just that first green, the green that we started with. To bring... Alright, you're not going to work. I'm excited to see the snake too, honestly. All I really want to do is just bring that green back to life a little bit. Where it gets kind of dull with the wash. But I want to leave the wash in the shadows. This probably doesn't look like it's doing much on camera because it doesn't really look like it's doing much in real life, in person. But it does make a difference. It does just brings that base green back up to itself. And that's all I really want to do with that. And then two ways I could do this. I could try and paint in this second green, or I could try dry brushing it on. You know what? Let's get weird. Let's do it the hard way. Let's do it the hard way. I mean, theoretically, I could go in and just dry brush this color on, but frankly, I want it a bit more controlled. I want it to go where I want it to go a little bit more than dry brushing will allow me. So I'm just going to take my brush and I'm going to paint the top line of each scale a slightly brighter green. You can kind of see it there on the tail. I've already started. This is just going to make our green undertone feel more vibrant. Bigger isn't the right word, but it's the word that comes to mind. And as the scales get bigger, we're just going to make slightly bigger marks. We're just going to really make sure that green is on there and visible. And then by the time we get to these huge scales, we're actually going to do like a chevron on each one in this green, because I kind of want to take this green into the scale a little bit. I'll dry brush once I get into the other colors, the kind of secondary colors. For now, I think I want to stick to making this green look amazing and weird. Just want to make sure that my they're not really highlights, because I kind of want them to read as part of the scale. But I mean, I guess they could be highlights. This is going to take a minute. Thank you, Pius. Always nice to have a vote of confidence. These weird little lines, because they're uniform in where they are on the scales, they're also going to help differentiate the direction that the snake is wound in. And it also kind of helps, you know, differentiate the scales in some places where maybe they didn't print super great. Hi, Mom. My mom is watching on Facebook. I have to have Facebook pulled up on my phone in order to see any comments on Facebook. Because for some reason Facebook hates any platform that isn't Facebook and won't let you use anything. So I kind of have to go like backwards and sideways to get this stream on Facebook. That's a fair point. Facebook can't sell me if I'm not giving it to Facebook. Also, I'm not giving Facebook any money. And if you don't give Facebook money to promote, you get basically no reach whatsoever if you're trying to do anything artsy. Facebook actively hates artists. Scales here are significantly larger, so we're doing much more of a deliberate shape on the scales. That's too much paint on that brush. The good news is, if I screw it up like I was just doing a few minutes ago, I can just go back in with green. Clean it up. You're not wrong, Mom. Even if you do pay for advertising, you don't get good advertising. Tinderbox has been fighting that fight for years. Why, thank you. Thank you. I'm still really just working basics. Just like, I want this snake to read as green with blank. So I really want the green underneath everything else to really have a life of its own. This weird, like, paint each scale process. It's going faster than I thought it would, though. Gotta give it that. Got stuff all over my fingers. The spread video. What are you talking about, Mom? Scales for days. At this point, I like how it looks, but I am regretting the decision not to dry brush. Can I even get a brush down in there? Yeah, I can. Alright. Darn. Now I don't have an excuse not to paint that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong, Mom. You know, they don't want you to share unless you're paying for it. And even then, you're only gonna get shared to, like, robots in Indonesia. And anytime I make a Facebook post and use the word Twitch in it, then it just gets buried. The algorithm just eats it alive and nobody sees it. But that's why I do these, you know, that's why I do the multi-stream. That's why I stream to Facebook and YouTube, is because, you know, it is exposure for the channel. And I by no means believe that I am going to be the next, you know, online mini painting sensation. It would be nice to have this hobby pay for itself and not have to do commissions. Because that's typically the way you get a hobby to pay for itself, is you do commission work. But if I'm painting commissions, then I don't have time to paint my own stuff. And then everything I paint, I want to keep. So I'm a terrible commission painter. So instead, we're trying to get the hobby to pay for itself via the Twitch channel. And all those subs that Katie keeps spreading around goes a long way to help. It's looking like something. It definitely stands out from a distance, because like I'm looking at the monitor over there, and the difference between have not done the second green and have done the second green is pretty outstanding. A sub, Mom, is a subscription on Twitch. On Twitch, people can pay to subscribe to your channel, and they get, you know, benefits for doing so. But then I get a little kickback for every subscription. For instance, Katie, I think over the last 2 streams has gifted, as in she has paid for a month of subscription for somebody else, about 9 subscriptions, and I'm pretty jazzed about it, actually. Because every penny that comes in from those subscriptions goes back out in brushes, in resin for 3D printing, for paints, which, oh man, do I ever need to re-up my paints. The list of paints that are still good is almost shorter than the list of paints that need replaced. But that's also, you know, that's why the Venmo scrolls by on the bottom of the screen, and that's why the Amazon wish list is there. That's why the donation button is there. Every little penny that comes in from this stream goes right back into mini painting and the stream. Because I hardly paint off stream at all anymore. If I'm gonna paint, I normally will pop on stream, or I'll wait till a scheduled stream time to do my painting. Had an uncomfortable belt moment. The belt was poking into my fat gut. Brush was getting a little gummy, so we're just going to switch brushes. You know, if we want to keep doing stuff like this on the stream is most definitely going to need to start paying for itself, because this was not a cheap project. I mean, that's $10, $15 worth of epoxy right there. There's, you know, there's resin, there's paint, brushes that I ruined painting around that epoxy. Oh, this thing? Yeah. There you go. And there's the epoxy. And it's got some of that moss that you gave me in it. The moss was free because my mom gave it to me. Thank you, Mom. It was done with foam core and Mod Podge. Like I assembled and then sculpted everything out of foam, and then used a mix of Mod Podge and black paint to seal it so that I could paint it, and then just painted it as normal. Used some dollar store 2-part 5-minute set epoxy. And some of that moss, and then the minis that I painted on stream on Saturday, or the terrain pieces. And they're stuck in there by the epoxy. They're not even glued in, they're just epoxied in. Thank you, Pius. Yeah, I didn't want to do the construction of that on stream because I had no idea what I was doing. That was the first piece like that I've ever done. But it is something I'd like to do some more of. And so we'll probably be bringing that to the stream eventually. Involved. You know, Warhammer, just the grimdark of the far future just isn't for everybody. Alright. I kind of want to change it up again. Maybe I'm just being lazy about it. But I kind of think on these scales, I just want to do a line down the middle. Like that. Let's do a couple. See how it looks. See how we feel about it. Nope. Negative. Do not like. It is awfully nerdy. There's a lot of dice involved. You know, Warhammer didn't start my dice addiction, but it certainly didn't help. Just you wait, Mom. I got plans. Like I said, I just want the green underneath everything else to be nice and vibrant. So we're doing greens, lots of greens. If you count the wash, this is technically the third green I've done on this, on these scales. And I am going to count the wash because it makes it sound more impressive. Switch brushes again. Make sure that I don't let my brushes get gummy. Gummy brush doing line work like this is just a nightmare. Alright. I mean, there's definitely going to be some of these I'm going to have to go back and fix, but we're coming along. Scales have gotten long and skinny on this part of the snake, and it's really a pain. We're almost there. You can tell I'm getting bored with like what I'm painting, like the part or the method that I'm currently using or whatever I'm doing, because I'm starting to like break patterns. Like, oh, instead of just painting these in a row, I'm going to paint up this side for a little bit and then go back to doing what I was doing, and then I'm going to go over here and then I'm going to turn it upside down. And because I got to tell you, I am over painting tiny green lines. I'm over it. I'm very much excited for the fact that when I'm done with these lines, I'm going to start dry brushing. It is. No doubt, Pius. It's getting a little sloppier back here because the scales are getting more and more irregular as I go over this hump. They change quite a bit. They overlap in weird ways. There are spots that they're just kind of stacked up. Either that or whoever 3D printed this did a piss poor job. Excuse me. So close. It's making my eyes go cross, y'all. Excuse me, hold on. A tickle in my throat. Oh, there we go. Paper's drying up again. Oh my goodness. This wet palette. Driving me nuts. If the top of the paper on your wet palette dries up, it starts to curl in on itself. It was curling over some of the skin tones that we were using on our other mini. Alright. Looking a little speckledy, which wasn't my intention, but it doesn't look bad. And again, I just have to keep reminding myself I am not even close to done with color here. Like, I have so many colors I want to put on this thing. I did see that, Katie. I've got Facebook pulled up on my phone so that I can see Facebook, because otherwise I don't see nothing. All right, let's put something down on top of the wet palette here so that I can pull my paper back up. If we're going to be doing some dry brushing, I want my palette paper rather than the wet palette. So, the first thing I want to do is I want to dry brush some blue. Ooh, you know what? No, I have a better idea. To satiate my mom and to take her really good idea and make it something else, I'm actually going to do the first dry brush all over, all the way up, and I'm going to do it with gold, with like an actual metallic gold. And that's going to give us some much needed shine, I think. Jen's been waiting for this snake all day. The great thing about this gold for dry brushing is it's not opaque, like, at all. So it's really easy to dry brush with. Now on camera, that just kind of looks yellow, but I'm telling you, that is just gorgeous. I'm trying to be careful to only dry brush over, to actually like make contact in one direction, so that the gold kind of builds in one direction from the point of the scale being the heaviest gold, and then getting weaker as it goes back. And the way you do that is you just make sure that you dry brush in a single direction, which is harder than it sounds. I want to do this dry brush pretty heavy, because we got a lot of stuff. We've got a couple of different colors that are going to go over top of this, and I want to make sure that that gold gets some shine through to really show out. And honestly, like, if you just wanted to do a green snake and make it look cool for a D&D game, this alone would work. Like, just paint it green and then dry brush it gold, because that looks seriously cool. Oh yes, that's rad. Very cool. And my hand is very gold now too. Next, we're going to start changing it up. Next, we're going to go with a bluish green, like a teal. It's a bit more on the blue side of the spectrum than the green, but it is very much a teal. And I'm going to start here on the head, and I'm just going to dry brush a stripe down the back. This time I can go back and forth. Just to make sure I get the top of the head real good. Now you see why I did all those little marks on the scales now, because where I just dry brushed it blue, those marks are now blue. So now I have this pale blue highlight under everything. And still that gold shining. I am in love with this snake. Get a little bit more bold here up on the top, and then we'll start coming around. Now, because the belly of the snake is only visible on the bit that's up, we get to have a little bit of artistic license as to how he's laying on the belly. So what side is up? Now our snake has some blue. A little bit more here. And just to really, really set that blue off, we're going to do another one this time. A little, like in the middle of that blue line, I want to do another blue line and do it super loud. With this here Temple Guard blue, which probably has never been used by me, and if it has, I haven't shaken it up in a while. That might not be a bold enough difference, but let's throw it down a little bit and find out. It is not. So what we're going to do is we're going to use it anyway, but we're going to mix it with a little bit of white, which means I'm going to shovel some of this white out. Shovel some of this blue out, mix them up real good, get us a nice pale sky blue. If that doesn't work, I have another backup plan. Backup plans on backup plans. Oh yeah, that's it. Be careful which direction I'm holding the brush, because I only want to do this bright blue down the middle of our other blue. And now some purple. Why not? Technically it's a pink. Actually, I think technically it's a maroon. Giving him some purple stripes, because why the hell wouldn't I? Now, I'm not crazy about how that purple looks. I'm actually going to do his whole tail purple. And we're just going to very gently fade that in. I'll do a couple more stripes. And then we're going to do something to that purple to make me like it. And that's make it pink. Oh no, my pink paint. That looks like shit. I hate it. The color combo doesn't look like shit, just the paint job. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. I need a dry brush that isn't wet. You'll do. Go. Now it's starting to look okay. I did not like that purple. I didn't even like it with the pink on it at first. But now it's just all kind of starting to come together. Ooh, sparkly pretty snake. We're going to liven that gold back up very gently, so we still have some shine even where there's like a bunch more paint now. I didn't know how the gold paint was going to play, honestly. I just kind of was like, I'm going to dry brush it. Mom said use gold, so I'm going to dry brush it gold. Why not? But it might be the best decision I've made so far. So thanks, Mom. Yeah, now that he's gold, I like him an awful lot more. So it just buries all of the bad dry brushing that I did. And makes it sparkly. Alright. I'm calling the outer scales done, because if I keep going with them, I'm going to fuck them up. So, now that we've got like a green mud on the belly, let's brighten that up. We're going to brighten that up. How are we going to do that? We're going to do that with a little Ogren camo. This is it is another green, but it is far more yellow than green. And I'm just gonna do the outer line of each belly scale, just to differentiate one from the other one. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And then for no real reason, I think I want to do some kind of simple monochromatic pattern on the belly. Maybe even just like a big black stripe down the middle. To give it a little bit more visual interest. Alright, so I like this color choice. I don't think it's enough, so we're going to try dry brushing it. Oh yeah. That made a difference. Yeah, that made a hell of a difference. Alright, eyeballs time. So first we got to re-black the eyes, because I've dry brushed every color on the sun over the eyes. There we go. Might as well do the tongue while I'm at it. Yeah, I kind of want to go dry brush gold over all green that I paint forever now. That looks so fucking good. I'm so hyped about that. Now, I want some super standout eyeballs. So I'm thinking yellow. Like bright yellow. Like, ooh, damn, that's yellow. Yeah, I think that was a good call. Oh yeah, that was a good call. That yellow is pretty hype. Now, I'm going to do the line down the center, that kind of slit pupil. But I'm also going to do an even brighter yellow on the corners, so that the eye kind of gets darker in towards the middle. Like, again, this is going to be a very subtle thing. But in person, looking at the mini, it is going to make a difference. Dope. I have a super dope snake. Now, let us go back to our wet palette. Snake tongues are interesting because they are very dark, and if I remember right, they either start at the back towards the mouth as a brighter color and get darker, or it's the other way around. And I think I kind of want it the other way around. I want the very tips of the tongue to be this kind of warlock purple going back into this alien purple, going back into this dark blue before going completely black before it gets to the mouth. But before I do any of that, I'm going to take this Temple Guard blue that I liked so much, and we're just going to do 2 lines down the tongue. Very, very fine lines. And what this is going to do is this is just going to give it something underneath the layers of purple and pink and blue that I'm going to do to just kind of be there throughout the transition. And it'll also kind of reinforce the transition a little bit. There. That's it. Just those 2 blue lines. First, we're going to want a little daub of dark sky and some glaze medium. And a little bit of purple, a little bit of pink, and a little circle around my glaze medium. All right. first, we're going to do a glaze of dark blue almost all the way back. This blue, I barely have to do anything with at all. Really, I just have to make sure that it shows up over the two blue lines that I did. There. Give that 2 seconds to dry. And then we're going to get in here with some purple, which is it's all already starting to mix up, which is great. It's exactly what I wanted. That's why I did it like that. Now, we're going to do, from about here, we're going to do purple. Consistency right, okay. Use my brush, just loosen some of that paint up so that those blue lines we did show through. And then finally, the pink. Right here at the tip. I'm doing it while everything's still wet so that it all just kind of mushes together. There. That looks like garbage just now because it's all wet, it's all like mushed up together. As that dries, that should dry a nice even transition from blue to pink. I'm very happy with how our snake came out. I had my doubts there for a minute. I'm very happy with him. Let's get that zoom life in. Oh, I'm already zoomed. Okay. Alright. I did not think I was zoomed. Yeah. Look at Snaky boy. That's the avatar of an angry snake god, if I have ever seen one. Great. Now, the very important step of painting the base black and then putting some grass and stuff on it, making it jungly. I would have printed him a base that kind of matched the terrain piece I did, because in my head they're set. But honestly, this base and the bottom of the snake kind of printed as one piece. So I didn't feel like going through and, excuse me, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. Going through and doing the digital manipulation to like get the base off and then print a new base. Maybe one day I'll take a Dremel and just chop that base off and do something better. But for now, he's just gonna have a black base, and then we're gonna flock it with some grass, some bits of that moss, kind of give it a really like wild and overgrown look. Okay. I'm going to wait for everything to dry a little bit more before I try and pick it up and do the rim. Or if I was a smart person, we'd just go ahead and start the flocking. And then do the rim of the base last. Alright. I got all kinds of shit over here. And I think we're going to use a little bit of each of it. Kind of rip some of this up a little bit. First things first, that's all got to completely dry before I start throwing glue at it. That's important. Come on, phone, do what I want you to. That's kind of important to do that. I still think that's a bit too much plant. There we go. I like that better. I like that much better. No. I want... What do I want? I want my thick super glue. Yeah, thick. Give him a little bush friend there. And then another one up here. Little tiny guy that's falling over. Now let's get that back up on the base. I don't like that hanging off the base like that. There we go. That'll do. That'll do. And then one more somewhere. Let's do some of the different stuff. Some of the mossy stuff. I'm gonna do some of this right here. You guys see that? Is that still in frame? This is my super glue accelerant. Just spray it on, and then like within 8 to 10 seconds, your super glue is 100% cured. It's amazing. I did that thing towards the end there where I get super excited about getting through the end of a project. And so just like threw my paints everywhere. Like I have bottles of paint all over my table right now. My paint desk looks a mess, which it typically does while I'm painting. As I start taking things out and going, ooh this, ooh that, ooh the other thing, and then just making a mess. That's okay. Easy to clean up. Alright, now we're going to finish it off with some good old-fashioned flocking. Put us a big glob of Elmer's glue on our wet palette, and we're just going to paint that on. We're literally painting on Elmer's glue. I don't think I've done a flocked base on the stream yet. Or maybe I have. I don't know. I lose track. Maybe you want your glue kind of thick. I don't know how the Elmer's glue is going to interact with the accelerator for the super glue, but I don't think it should be a problem. You go through and you paint on your Elmer's glue. Where am I missing some? Right here. Need some glue. And you want it on kind of thick because everywhere that there's Elmer's glue, there will be grass. Everywhere there is not Elmer's glue, there will not be grass. And Elmer's glue is water soluble, so just get it out of your brush the same way you get paint out. Beat it up in your wash cup. There we go. Where's my flocking? There it is. And now we get to make a mess. So we're going to take this stuff and then just throw it on. Everywhere that there was glue gets some flocking. And you go super thick and heavy, and then only some of it's going to stick. Only the stuff that hits the glue is going to actually stick to the mini. But you really want to lay it in there first. I would have liked to have gone with a more vibrant green for my flocking for this piece, but this is the only flocking that I have, so it was this or snow, and I made my choice. And just shake as much of it as you can back into the thing. And then you make a mess all over yourself and on your table. There. Flocked. Now our snake is in grass. There's a snake in the grass. Also, now the final step is you learn to accept that you will be covered in flocking for the rest of your life. You never get rid of it because it's attracted. It's so light that it's attracted to static, even the simple static that comes from your clothes. So there we go. There we are. Our Juan T. See, look what I was saying about the transition on that tongue. That is beautiful. That is just smooth and creamy blends, as Scott would say. If you're a fan of mini paintings, Miniac on YouTube, Scott the Miniature Maniac would call those some creamy blends. Now, what do I want to do? I want to do just a weird little touch here. I'm going to do just a touch of gloss varnish on the eyes just to give them some shine. Just to make them shiny. Just a little gloss varnish. Because the rest of the snake is so shiny, the eyes look super matte. And normally on a mini, the whole thing would be matte, so it wouldn't matter. So, just a little gloss varnish to fix that. And I think our snake's done. I think our snake is done. A worthy addition to our snake-themed jungle terrain. And next, the next piece for this set, let me go grab it. The next piece for this set will be the Snake Priestess. The Juan T. Snake Priestess, who has snakes for hair, a pet two-headed snake, and a snake for a butt. Which I think is ridiculous. But this is a rad-looking model. I finally got it put together right. It took so much filing. So this will be the next piece that goes with this set of Sneekky themed goodness. Makes me want to run a 1T campaign for my D&D game. Don't tell my D&D players that. All right. What else? So we got started on this one, and I think I'm gonna hold off on that for maybe next stream. Maybe I'll just work on it in between streams. I don't fucking know. And so let's go through all the end of the show things. First and foremost, thank you guys so much for watching. I talked earlier about how I would love for this channel to like be self-supporting and make a little money off of it so that I can, you know, buy more brushes and paints and minis and things. But in the end, I do this because it's fun. It's my hobby that I would be doing with or without the Twitch stream. So you guys watching and just chatting with me during the stream, that is incentive enough to keep me doing this. But if you would like to support the channel, and you want to keep me happily covered in minis and flocking and paint and brushes and everything else that I need to do this silly little stream, there are a couple ways you can support. There's an Amazon wish list in the About section on Twitch, twitch.tv/DungeonBrush. Dungeon Brush is one word. If you go to the About section, there's an Amazon wish list. It is full of brushes and paints and craft stuff and some stream gear, like a mic stand, because my mic is just like on the table. And again, the camera is not on my face. There we go. You can buy stuff off. If you buy something off of the wish list, it automatically ships to my house, and I get it within 2 days. You can also, on the screen, if you're watching on Twitch, there's a little Amazon button over here, I think. Those are all affiliate links, so if you'd like to get some of your own paint stuff, some of your own miniature painting stuff, you can click that link. If you buy something through that, I get a kickback. That's cool. And you get some painting stuff. And let's see, what else? You can go to the About section on Twitch, and you can click the big donate button. All of the donations in December are going towards replacing my hard drive. The hard drive that I save all of the minis that I've purchased and downloaded to 3D print, which at this point is a couple $100 worth of minis. That hard drive is broken. And so I need to get a replacement, and then I need to take that replacement to someone smarter than me and pay them to move all of the files over to it. So that's where all of December's donations are going to go. And every once in a while on the ticker at the bottom of the screen, you get the Venmo that you can donate to as well. Amazon wish list, subscriptions, donations, tips on Venmo, it all goes right back into the channel to keep me doing this and keep me doing this on a regular basis to some kind of quality level. So that's how you support the channel. We did make our subscription goal for December. We hit 20 subs. That's awesome. Which means that I am going to be figuring out what and how I am going to need to do to paint a miniature finger painting. No brushes, just fingers. So I'm going to be doing some homework and some thinking about that, and I'll be getting back to everybody about what and when that is going to happen. Probably on the stream on Saturday, I'll have an official idea of what's going to go on. This is super fun. I really love doing this stuff, and I'm going to keep doing it. I appreciate you guys watching. If you liked the show, hit follow. Follows are free. Free is great. If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, then you can get a Twitch subscription for free. You just sign up for a Twitch account, link the two accounts, and then you get one month subscription to a single Twitch channel every single month. So every single month you could come in and resub to Dungeon Brush, and even though it costs you nothing on top of your Amazon Prime, I still get a kickback, and that goes towards this nonsense too. So that's enough of that. In the meantime, it has been an absolute pleasure. I have had so much fun. I love our sparkly gold snake. Expect some pictures of this and the terrain piece to be up on the Instagram and in the slideshow down here in the next day or two. And I will see you guys. I know on Saturday. Saturday is a for sure thing that I will be here. And I might be here during the week, during the day. I just need to actually get the motivation to do it. So, tune in, hang out. It's been great. I hope everyone has a great night. I'm gonna go get something to eat.